Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Convos in Color discussion with the amazing Adobe Design. I'm so excited. I hope you are too, and I hope you're feeling this amazing energy. Go ahead and drop in the comment section where you all are tuning in from. Introduce yourself. Let us know that you all are in the building. Again, my name is Chanel. I am the CEO and founder of the Mentor Me Collective. And listen, y'all, it is my pleasure to serve the community in this way. It's our desire to make sure that we are creating personalized mentorship. We're also creating global impact by also allowing corporations like Adobe Design to discover this amazing talent. So I hope you're ready to dive into some amazing conversations about diversity and inclusion, and also talk about how they have been fostering it. So again, we just want to say greetings, welcome. Like I said, drop in the chat where you are tuning in from. Throw some fire emojis if you're excited. Throw a little party hat, honey. We want all of the energy. We're so very excited again for you all to join. But we also want to make sure that you are sharing this moment with someone. Don't be selfish, honey. Be an evangelist. Go ahead and share this with your community, your friends. If you guys are tuning into LinkedIn and or YouTube, we are on both platforms. We're so excited again, like I said, to have you all. And make sure when you share, you tag us and tag Adobe. Let them know that you all are tuning in and you are so excited for today's content. So like I said, I'm so excited to bring up our amazing guests. We're going to go ahead and bring them up very shortly. Again, the first guest that we're going to bring up was going to be the amazing Amanda Lopez. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, y'all. Amanda is the manager of global diversity talent acquisition at Adobe. So we're super excited to lean into some conversations with you. Again, welcome to the stage.
No, thank you.
Absolutely. We have the amazing Morgan. How are you?
I am so good. You almost made me tear up just with your energy. I am so excited to be here and so excited to just represent Adobe and get to know you all.
This is amazing. I'm so grateful. And as you can see, I'm just excited as well because we love Adobe. I mean, Adobe products have been around for quite some time and you just have impacted our community. You know, these are products that honestly, I don't even know if we can live without. So we appreciate you all coming today. Again, Morgan is actually our the scouting talent. She has been scouting talent at Adobe for the past 6 years. So I'm excited to get into some conversations with her as well. We do want to bring up to the stage Annie.
Yay! I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, Annie. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am pinching myself. I'm so happy that we get to do this with you and just excited to get to know you more too.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. Up next, we're going to bring up the amazing Bridget. She is absolutely phenomenal. Let me go ahead and bring her on up, y'all. Hello, Bridget.
What's up?
Bridget is the design manager for the Creative Cloud growth team. So again, she's been doing some incredible work. Let's go ahead and lean into some great conversations in just a moment. But last but never least, we have the incredible VP of Experience Design at Adobe, Roshana Real. She is absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited to bring her on up as well. Hello.
Good to be here.
We're so excited to have you all on stage. Again, welcome so very much. I want us definitely to lean into some conversation, but first, I want the folks to get to know who we're talking to. So I definitely want to hand off the podium, I guess the baton, first to you, Miss Amanda.
No, thanks so much. So yes, I manage our global diversity talent acquisition team. And really what my team's goal is to do is to meet Adobe's larger aspirational goals. So that means we're doubling our Black representation. We're doubling our underrepresented minority representation at the director level and above. And we'd like to be able to get our women representation at the director level and above to 30%. And so we're targeting to meet our aspirational goals by 2025. So excited to be able to talk a little bit more about how we can do that and some of the ways that we're working towards those efforts.
That is amazing. Let's pass the baton on over to Morgan.
Yes. So yes, I am a talent scout on our digital media team. I wish I had been at Adobe for 6 years. I've been design recruiting or design talent scouting for the past 6 years, but I've been at Adobe for just about 2.5 years now. And I've loved every moment of it. I have been so impressed with just Adobe's culture and their ability to create an inclusive environment. My role is to scout talent. So often we've got applicants, but maybe they're not, maybe we need a little extra help finding exactly what we're looking for. So it's my job to go out into the marketplace and find people that we want to bring into the company. And I love doing it. It's so fun matching the right person with the right opportunity, and to give people an opportunity that I know has changed my life. I know my role and my job and my company has been a huge part of my life. So it's just a very rewarding place and a very exciting place to be in.
That is so beautiful. And I hope you all are feeling this amazing, genuine energy. I'm super excited. Passing the baton on over to Annie.
Thank you. I got it. I am a talent partner, so I work with Morgan every day, lucky me. I have been with Adobe for just 2 months, so I'm a newbie, and I'm going to use that card for as long as I can. But I have been in talent acquisition for about five years, and prior to that, I was a teacher. So separate life. But yeah, as a talent partner, I work directly with hiring managers and help write job descriptions, get them posted, review applicants, work with Morgan on our scouting efforts, and then prepare candidates for through the whole process. So prepare them for the interviews, consult with the hiring managers on, who the winning candidate will be for the offer, and, execute the salary negotiation and things like that. So yeah. And I'm in Chicago, and I think I just saw someone saying hi from Chicago. So hi, Kiana. Hi, Kiana.
Hey, Kiana. I love it. We love to see it. And we also have some former teachers here as well. So that's amazing to hear about that career pivot. Absolutely fantastic. Handing it on over to Bridget.
Hey folks, how's it going? My name is Bridget, and I've been at Adobe for about 3 years. I'm currently a design manager on the growth side, and so growth is essentially helping people to get the most value out of their products. So it's been a really great journey. I'm actually dialing in from Germany as well. I saw that someone was watching from Germany. What's up, Cynthia? So I'm dialing in from Berlin, and but I usually sit in the San Francisco office. And so it's been great. I've been a manager for a little over a year, gotten lots of experience working with our amazing talent partners to bring in, phenomenal candidates into the company, and also into my team. So it's great to be here. Great to meet you all.
That is fantastic. Shout out to the UK, Europe. We love to see it. Absolutely. And of course, the amazing Rachana. We would love to hear from you as well.
Yeah, I'm Rachna Rele. I'm a VP of design at Adobe, and my area of expertise, or my area of scope rather, is Document Cloud, which includes Acrobat, e-signatures products, what we do for developers and larger ecosystems. My role is basically to create an environment where designers can thrive and create products that are both diverse and inclusive. And I work with Annie, I work with Morgan, Bridget, closely on various things. So I'm glad to be here, and thanks for having us here.
Absolutely. We're so excited. And again, we want you all to just continue to bring us that amazing energy with those fire emojis and the party hats and all the things. Like I said, we're going to lean into some amazing conversation. And so first, I'm going to kick it on off to over to Miss Amanda. I would love for us to kind of lead into conversations about Adobe Design continuously fostering this diverse and inclusive community, especially in this remote environment. What has been your thoughts there, and how have you seen a difference in how things have been conducted remotely and versus in person?
Yeah, I think with Adobe Design specifically, it's very interesting because they've been pretty remote even prior to the pandemic. So I actually haven't seen too many changes in that, this team has been already knows, hey, how do we operate in this environment? How do we continue it? And Adobe is really focused in leaning into focusing not necessarily on top locations, but really on top candidates, where are they coming from? How do we make sure that they're located in a space that's going to provide them with the types of access and opportunity? And really, as long as they're associated to that Adobe office, it makes it very easy for us.
Well, that's great. I would love to hear everyone else's thoughts to that too. What are your thoughts around that, Bridget, especially since you are extremely remote?
Well, I'm currently traveling, so it's not quite the same. I don't live in Germany anymore, although I did for a while back. But yeah, like it's the same for my team actually. Like we were primarily remote in California, even before the pandemic. And so it's been a pretty decent transition for us. But one trend that I do see is for folks to be kind of grouped by the time zone rather than the geographical location, because that's really the part that makes the asynchronous or synchronous work. Yeah, I feel like that's the main thing that you need to be worrying about, less the geographical location. So it's been interesting working with different time zones and everything.
That's incredible. Would love to hear anyone else's thoughts as well.
Yeah, I can jump in there, I think the principles that guided us when we were in person, I think those same principles continue to guide us as we move work remotely, right? Which is showing empathy. And if anything, the designers know how to show empathy for customers, but also for each other. So that's, recognizing that people have different situations, as we are especially experiencing, burnout through constant remoteness, and helping the teams work through those situations, creating space, encouraging self-care, demonstrating self-care, leading by example, allowing for self-care. So one of the principles was empathy. The other one is also, demonstrating inclusive behaviors, be it in meetings, right? In some ways, all remote meetings have leveled the playing field, if you will, right? In some ways, in some other ways, it has made it worse for underrepresented groups, especially. So encouraging participation that we would in person meetings. So remembering the same principles that we had when we were in person, and carrying that remotely and being cognizant of those has actually helped us not feel completely disconnected from each other or incoherent with our guiding principles, and staying vigilant with respect to the structure, how things get done, how opportunities get distributed for projects, especially for visible projects. In person, it was much easier because there was, you could talk about projects in hallways. Now you can't. So thinking about how we, as managers, particularly structure and distribute work so that it creates opportunities for everybody, has become even more important, I believe, in this remote-only world.
I kind of wanted to jump into just from a talent scouting perspective, because I scout across so many of our roles here at Adobe. I've been the sole talent scout for our design group for a while now, so I've seen a lot of different positions. And prior to the pandemic, we were allowed to be remote, but limited to big cities, so like San Francisco, New York, Seattle. But like I'm seeing someone here in the chat that's from South Dakota. And from now, since we've moved fully remote, of course, there's a little bit of dependency on your level, but I've been able to include states like South Dakota now in my search strings and in my search parameters. And it's been so much fun to start adding these states in that I've never been able to tap before, and to see this wide array of talent come in, and wide array of perspectives and wide array of experiences that we would have completely missed out on. I mean, the experience alone living in a smaller town versus a big city is something to contribute to a product perspective or to a company culture. And I'm so excited that net that I'm able to cast is so much wider now, and that we can welcome those perspectives, those locations, those types of people in.
I think that is absolutely incredible. And it leads into another point of conversation, which I would love us to dive into. So as you all have been talking about, just advocating and continuing that empathy, the mission really of Adobe, to make sure that you're impressioning these products for anyone to use and making them inclusive. I would love for you all to talk about specifically, I know we just talked about location, but the diverse backgrounds of these candidates, right? When it comes to traditional paths versus maybe personally going to like, boot camps or doing self-learning. What has that looked like, and how has Adobe been supporting those individuals as well?
I think I can chime in here a little bit specific to talent acquisition. So Adobe has done quite a few things in order to make sure that we're supporting folks of a wide variety of backgrounds. I think one that has been a long-standing program for us has been the Adobe Digital Academy, which has been primarily focused on individuals that are really career switchers, folks that maybe came from a nonprofit or education, or even maybe their degree was in history, or maybe they didn't have a college degree. And so what we do with Adobe Digital Academy is, in partnership with General Assembly, those individuals do a 13-week boot camp, and then they create the opportunity for them to work either full-time or take an internship with us directly at Adobe. So that's one of the many ways. I think another popular way that we're in the process of piloting right now is we're also exploring looking at the community college avenue. So how do we create opportunities for students that don't necessarily have that four-year degree that a lot of the time get overlooked? Another one at the university level that we're very excited about is our student athlete micro internship program. So what that is a lot of the time student athletes typically get overlooked because they have practice, then they're in their regular school schedule, and these folks are wonderful to be able to partner with, because they have the teamwork experience, they have that operations and structure of knowing to maintain the schedule, but they just haven't been given access to that. So hopefully, based off of this Adobe pilot, we'll be able to start encouraging other companies to do something similar.
That's fantastic. I would love to hear your thoughts also, Morgan and Annie, as you all have been scouting as well. Has that kind of crept into the traditional versus non-traditional spaces too?
I think that's the beauty of having humans still involved in the scouting, recruiting process of things, rather than handing everything over to AI, which is possibly a potential down the road. Who knows? But not for Adobe, but just, in general. But the beauty of having humans involved is that Morgan and I can look at a resume that might not be your typical application onto a rec, onto a job opening, but we can look at it and we can see the story of that person's transferable skills and help tell that story to the hiring manager to give that candidate a chance that might not be picked up by, the algorithm. And I think that's what Morgan and I, we have bonded over that, just the two of us. And that's something that we enjoy doing with our hiring managers, getting more people into the door.
Yeah, I completely agree. And from the time that I first started scouting till now, I have seen a huge shift in hiring managers lightening up on their hard requirements. So I've seen a shift away from, in the past, I've seen hiring managers wanting to target certain schools, like really accredited art schools or something like that. They wanted to make sure that the candidates were coming from this school or that school. And I have seen just huge shifts away from that and openness to exactly what Annie said, looking at someone's career trajectory and kind of reading between the lines of what the story was. To me, someone jumping in, maybe a mom who's working full time and she took a boot camp course in the evenings, that is someone who has grit. That is someone who I would want to hire. And being able to read between the lines and having companies and hiring managers now open to someone with that path without having these hard and fast requirements. I'm even seeing shifts in letting go of years of experience. Of course, we need certain years of experience for certain roles, but there's just more give. There's not if they're not telling me, don't consider them if they don't have exactly 5 years. There's definitely flex there. So if designers have a strong portfolio and show a lot of potential, our hiring managers are very open to considering them.
Wow.
Shana, just to add
sorry.
there,
Go ahead.
many of the Adobe folks know that I don't come from a traditional design background. As compared to many successful design leaders, I have a background in industrial engineering, but I found my way through internships to now. So it's possible.
It's amazing. It's given inspiration. we love to see it. I know you was going to say something too, Annie.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to LinkedIn, which I know a lot of you are tuning in from right now, because they just recently launched a feature where you can, if you took a break from the workforce, there's a new feature on LinkedIn where you can, insert that, fairly easily. And just to normalize that, some of us do take breaks from working, and whether you're a mom or you're taking care of someone in your family or taking care of yourself, it's normal and it's okay. And, LinkedIn's normalizing that. Morgan and I and Rachana have already talked to hiring managers, just being more open, it seems, to the humanity in our applicants.
I really love that, especially these past couple of years. They've been hard for everyone, and so returning to work has also been hard. And I know I can imagine, the anxiety of feeling like how do I explain this 2-year gap, right? And how can I say or advocate for myself in terms of my skills and are they still up to standard? Are they still up to par? So I love that as well. I guess, Amanda, going back to us talking about these programs and Adobe really just being intentional of understanding the audience of folks who are using these products and wanting them also, to be included in this. What sort of feedback or surveys or tools are you all using currently to make sure that you're adequately measuring the success of these programs?
I think that varies from program to program, so I don't know if I would use a holistic one. But I think, of course, we do an employee survey annually in order to understand how each of these programs land. Upon the completion of the program, of course, Adobe is very pilot heavy. We like to be able to try things out, see if it works, be able to make recommendations, and then look at how we continue to be able to scale. But I think to that same point, if it's not being measured, are you really seeing whether or not progress is happening in the first place? So just making sure that we have that level of accountability per each program is something that's very top of mind for us.
That's incredible. And feel free also if you all want to chime in. I think the numbers and the data do not lie. So I love that is something that you all are very much heading and making sure that you all are visualizing as well. Okay, alrighty. I would love to kind of continue the conversation in this space. And so as now we come from the candidate space and now becoming a full-time employee, a part-time or whatever, I would love for us to talk about the employee resource groups. So I would love to hear about how Adobe is offering these employee resource groups and how their activities also structure the educating component of developing not only the candidate the employee, but also the company at large. And feel free anyone. Did you want to go, Bridget?
Yeah, sure. So I can talk. There are many employee resource groups or ERCs at Adobe. The one that I'm the most active in is BIN, which is our Black Employee Network, and they've just been outstanding. I mean, I joined the company in 2019, so I've seen BIN kind of pre 2020 and all of that madness, and then after, and it's really been just continual, super authentic support at all levels. Everything from there's healing sessions, that started after 2020 for the Black community that have been absolutely instrumental in my success. And it's just, we actually have a licensed therapist who comes and talks to us, and it's just super, I don't know, it's just a really weird but really awesome thing to have at work. It's not support that I would have ever expected, and it's been just really awesome. And then there's also just tons and tons and tons of things that that particular resource group does to help to educate the entire Adobe community on issues that affect us all, all types of intersectionality. Of course, the focus with that one is on the Black community, but diversity extends in all directions, right? And so, I don't know, it's just been a really, really amazing. And then also, like, it's kind of it's not the resource groups themselves, but there is a kind of a bigger structure globally with Adobe called Adobe for All, which exists solely to celebrate diversity in all of its forms. And so the employee resource groups kind of fit into that larger agenda of just continually celebrating employee stories and their lives and what they're going through, and how Adobe plays into that. And it's just been like, every time I'm speaking with someone about Adobe, like, that to me, it's like the employee resource groups, the Adobe for All mission. Of course, creativity for all is literally in the tagline, And I feel like it's just really authentic. Like, all of the conversations that we've been having pre and post 2020 pandemic, wars, racism, all of these other things have been just extremely authentic. It's not been kind of the lip service or let's just release a statement. It's been like actually difficult conversations, like real stuff, not just kind of like slap a corporate Band-Aid on it. So I've just really, really appreciated that authenticity from the company overall. It's been really amazing.
That's amazing. I would love to hear from you all as well, like if you all are also in different kinds of ERC groups, and also what has been your experience like thus far.
I can jump in a little bit too, just around how much I feel education, how important education is around this topic. The beauty of Adobe is that they create these spaces and they create these experiences for any Adobe employee to jump in at any time. So, for example, they'll sit down, like, it's Women's Month, right? And on the calendar this week is a group of our global leaders sitting down and talking about leadership and challenging stereotypes. And that just pops up on every Adobe employee's calendar. And I can turn that on and I can listen while I'm working. And it can open my mind to different experiences. So I just strongly feel that it is not enough for someone to feel like I'm a nice person, like I don't have an issue with diversity and inclusion. That's not the point. The point is that we don't know what we don't know. And that's why education is so important, that to sit in and listen and open your heart and open your ears to other people's experiences, so that you suddenly have these realization moments. We all have blind spots. All of us have blind spots. And to have the opportunity so easily served to us on a platter, a silver platter from Adobe to give those experiences to us so easily, to just click a button and to hear a perspective from someone that is different than our perspective, is just so immensely valuable at changing like our own perspectives, our own thoughts, our own actions. That's something that I've been so grateful for at Adobe. It is built into the structure of Adobe to make that a priority for all employees and to make it easy too.
Yeah, I can jump in. I'm a part of the LGBTQ group, the Pride group at Adobe, and what stands out to me is how the ERG groups are actually allies to each other. Right? It's less about the insularness of each group, but how all these different groups, whether it's BEN and Pride and Latinx, it's just supporting and showing allyship, which is just the core DNA of Adobe, I feel like. And what Bridget was referring to earlier, we have this series where people share their personal stories. And it is so powerful to know somebody as a person and the stories that they've gone through, as opposed to a group, of people who are similar. So that, to me, that has had profound effect on me personally, just knowing other people and other hardships that they go through. So I think it's just, as Morgan said, it's just the education that has been the core foundation of everything that we do, and that has helped people just open their eyes towards everybody.
I think that is fantastic. And I'm just hearing a common thread of education things being built in allyship, and just also making sure that not only like are we providing these tools for the external community, we ourselves are a huge community on the inside. I really love that. I would love to hear about maybe the training and initiatives that are put into place to continue to increase inclusion within diversity teams and Adobe teams and products. How do you all continue to uphold that as well?
I think when it comes to different training and development opportunities, one thing that Adobe has specifically is a talent development team, which I know that there are, with some of the other larger organizations, there's not always a talent development team. And in addition to that, a talent management team that focuses a lot on internal mobility, performance, and really generating what that leadership bench is going to be. So some of the great programs that we have include Adobe's Leadership Circles, which primarily focuses on how do we make sure that we're, for our women and trying to be able to get them into some of these higher level opportunities, how do we create that opportunity for them? We've also introduced the Mckinsey Connected Leaders Academy. This is a leadership academy for various cohorts. So we have a Black Connected Leaders Academy, a Hispanic and Latinx Academy, as well as an Asian Academy. So that way folks not only are being able to learn about some of these larger business related topics, almost like a mini MBA, but they get the opportunity to learn in a cohort from folks that look like them when maybe in these larger traditional spaces, they're not afforded the opportunity to. In addition to that, we have programs, and I'm not going to list them all, but I'll highlight some of my favorites. We do have our Adobe sponsorship program, which specifically focuses on our Black talent and providing them with a mentor from some of our executive teams. In addition to that, we do have our Adobe for All mentorship program, which provides anybody that wants to become a mentee also the opportunity to become a mentor. So that way it's going both ways, which I've seen some really great things come out of it where directors are learning about TikTok and social media because, maybe their, second year student wants to learn a little bit more about their executive presence. So with each of these development programs, those are my favorites to highlight, but also to highlight just our professional development fund, which I think is a little bit different than some other companies. So a lot of companies in the Silicon Valley have a kind of $10,000 education fund. We have that as well in order to be able to support academic endeavors. But we also give our employees a $1,000 professional development fund where they get the opportunity to be able to utilize that on conferences, on business-related books, and just whatever their own development looks like. I know some folks have used it for learning another language, and it's not even necessarily specific to their job. So I'm sure I could go on for days. I won't bore you with the details, but lots of fun development opportunities at Adobe.
That is fantastic. I would love to hear if any of you all have utilized those funds to do some development, whether or not it's a conference or scheduling some time. Absolutely. Morgan.
I unmuted so fast because I used our as soon as I got employed, I used our $10,000 education stipend to take a UX UI course. And I've been recruiting designers for years and years, and I've kind of always wanted to be on the other side, to be in the designer seat. And so as soon as I got that opportunity, I enrolled in a course, and it was hard. I had just had a baby, and I was working, so maybe I was kind of mentioning myself earlier, but I had to stay up late, and I had to really stretch myself to get through that course. It was a 6-month boot camp. But I cannot tell you how grateful I am for Adobe for providing that opportunity for me. I mean, it's something that I've always wanted, and it never felt achievable to me. I mean, $10,000 is a lot of money. And it just kind of pushed me into, it kind of gave me that leg up that I needed to actually make it happen. So yes, I have definitely taken advantage of that $10,000, and it renews every year, and years go by like that. So, I mean, I can do it again once I recover from being so tired from doing it the first time, but it's just a huge opportunity. I've been so grateful for it.
That is incredible. I'd love to hear if anyone else wanted to kind of share their experience as well. Oh, Annie, yeah.
I don't have any experiences to share. I'm just like ferociously writing everything down since I'm only here. I've only been here for 2 months. I'm like, oh, I thought I know I love this company, and there's just more and more reasons to love it. So Morgan, I didn't even know you did that. I didn't know it was a 6-month boot camp. Oh, so cool.
That is amazing. And I'm loving, again, that common thread of education, like how much we're all learning from each other. I would love to kind of hear about your personal experiences when it comes to, we talked about employee development, right? What does that look like on the inside when a candidate comes in and they may start off within a design space, but they've been partnering with engineering and they love that too. What does that look like in terms of them continuing their growth process in that way? Or maybe they're like, I love being a designer, but I really also love product. And what does that look like with product or operations? I would love to kind of hear about that trajectory of growth.
I feel like I'm talking so much, but I can jump in a little bit on this. So we, as a rule of thumb here at Adobe, when we open any new role, it stays open internally for 2 full weeks. We don't accept external applications. So it is, retention is huge here at Adobe, and retaining our employees that we already have is so big to us. There is so much opportunity at Adobe. I genuinely feel like I could head in any direction that I want at Adobe. And in my current role, at least my manager, and I imagine most managers feel this way, they encourage you to find what energizes you. No one's going to perform well if they're sitting in a role that they hate. So they encourage you to find and explore, and then to take on, my manager has encouraged me to take on stretch assignments with like a design team eventually, or I've seen people transition from one team to another. But yes, I mean, we call it internal mobility, and it's a huge initiative for us at Adobe to just keep the talent that we have and to repurpose them if they want to move in another direction.
That is absolutely incredible. And I guess piggybacking off of this, I know work-life balance is also something that you all talk about a lot, especially on your page as well, your career page. I have a really good friend also who works at Adobe, and honey, that is her favorite thing about the shutdown weeks and just like the mandatory time for you to just step away from work. So I would love for us to kind of lean into conversations about that. How has that helped with mental health, with burnout? And also, sometimes as women, it's a bit much. So I would love to hear about just all facets.
It's been like an absolute lifesaver to have those. Because I feel like, I mean, probably everyone has experience with this. When you're on vacation and other people are not on vacation with you, you leave in complete panic mode. And then you kind of get a little bit of the vacation, kind of and then you come back to just complete panic mode. And so the shutdown weeks, we have those twice a year. And then also after the pandemic started, our head of HR, Gloria, began to institute what they're called global days off, and we have those regularly. There's actually one coming up this week, and it's just extremely helpful to have that time. And then I don't know, it's just knowing that no one else is kind of working on those days. So that's the thing. It's one thing to have like PTO and to take vacation, but when the entire company, whether it be for one day or 1 week with the shutdown periods, knowing that everyone is on break is what really allows your brain to just kind of decompress. So I'm just extremely grateful for those. They've really helped to stave off a lot of burnout, and then also like just the I don't know. I've never had a problem when I need to go on vacation, or you just kind of set it up as you normally would, in terms of letting others know, making sure that your projects are covered. But I've always been encouraged, and also encourage my team to get out of here. Like if you're feeling the burnout, come on, like get out of here. Like we can figure it out, because your mental health is more important than any project. And so, I'm really, really grateful for all of the efforts that Adobe's done to, keep us happy and healthy.
I can jump in there. I think in addition to the wellness days, which is coming up on Friday, and we are all excited about what each of us are going to do. I'm personally going for a massage. But in addition to the days, Adobe also provides wellness dollars, right? So it's another way of saying, here we care about your wellness. Here are the wellness dollars. And forget, I think it's $600 a year to spend, something along those lines. But that's saying something. That is saying that we care about you as a person and your well-being. So that's one. And the other thing that I'm excited about, and what keeps people at Adobe in some ways, is we do sabbaticals, a month-long sabbatical after 5 years. And I'm saying that because mine is coming up in this summer. So all those little bits of breaks help in refreshing your mental state, your who you are as a person, and coming back refreshed to your job that you love doing, right?
Yeah, not to mention the laundry list, but I know some other additional benefits that we have available. One that I really loved is there's opportunities that are complimentary for you to speak with a nutritionist, for you to work with a wellness coach. Of course, at a lot of our locations, we have gyms as well, and making sure that you have those levels of support. I also do like, as you mentioned with that wellness fund, that there's not tons of limitations on what wellness means. So like wellness could mean, hey, I want to be able to get activities for my kids. I know I utilized some of my wellness dollars last year to buy some books for my son because I wanted him to be able to build up his library. I have coworkers that utilized it to get ski lift tickets, or some folks that wanted to get massages. So you have the ability to be able to utilize it in that capacity. But also that Adobe looks at wellness also specific to mental health. So that we do get free access to Headspace for not just us, but for somebody in our family as well. So just making sure that we have, that from a mental health perspective, in addition to kind of 10 free counseling sessions for when individuals need it. And that's, again, per year, not just, a one and done thing.
I also wanted to add that one of the big draws for me to come to Adobe was that they also care about community wellness. And so they will match up to a certain dollar amount to any organization that is approved that an Adobe employee donates money to or volunteers at, which gives me honestly peace of mind. It helps my mental health when I am giving back, knowing that there's more coming to this organization that I care about and is benefiting my community that I'm living in. So yeah, it's all, I think the key word from this conversation, I feel like, is like intersectional. So yeah,
That is
throw that in there.
No, yeah, that's absolutely incredible. And I thank you also very much for sharing those points. I think especially in times like this, it's very important to know that you have space to breathe, but not only just breathe, just have space to be, especially mentally. So I think that is really an amazing child. I just have a loss of words. There's not a lot of companies that do that. So plus one to all of the things that you all have shared. Obviously, it could not be a talk with the Meant to Be Collective unless we talked about mentorship. So I know we talked about development in terms of like self-development, but I would love to hear about development when it comes to maybe like peer-to-peer or like an executive leader and all that kind of jazz. What has that been like, or what kind of programs do you all have internally for folks that are coming in? Maybe this is their first tech role and they do need a little extra love, a little extra love, TLC, all the things. Bridget, I see you smiling. Did you want to go first? No. We love it. We love it.
I was just laughing at the TLC. It was cute.
No, of course. Absolutely. Amanda, feel free, or Rashana, feel free as well.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of programs that we do have available. One being specifically for women called the Women's Executive Shadow Program. We here internally at Adobe will call it WESP. But essentially, we select about 100 women to get the opportunity to be able to get connected to executives within our company. And as long as they've been with our company for a year, we've looked at how do we make sure that we're getting those individuals placed with a mentor. I know I also mentioned earlier, specifically for the Black community, being able to do our sponsorship program, which is another a general-based mentorship, as well as our Adobe for All Mentee Mentor program, which started about 4 years ago. Originally started with our OLA community, which is for Hispanic or Latinx. It was about 20 or so individuals. And as of this last year, I think we had 430 globally that were involved in the program. So it's been really cool to continue to see that scale from folks wanting to be able to learn things as simple as like, what is my personal brand, to some of the high level, how do I make sure that I am a great storyteller as I work with some of these executives. So lots of ways that we look at mentorship here at Adobe.
And I can add that for the Women's Executive Shadow Program, I've been a mentor at that for the last 5 years. And I feel like I consistently end up getting a lot out of mentoring other women, as they shadow you for a day or spread across multiple meetings across days. It's just one really fantastic way that Adobe mentors people and sort of crowdsources it to other executives. The other one that is really near and dear my heart is there's a mentorship program for leadership level women, and particularly women from underrepresented minorities. So this is Director Plus, director, senior directors who are paired up with VP, senior VP level folks, both men and women, for a period of 8 months. Right now I'm on the task force there. And one of the things, again, we see is how these women leaders develop in the organization. They might be new to Adobe, in which case they need a lot of sort of helping navigate the complexities in some ways of Adobe, and helping them understand what it means to be a director or a senior leader at Adobe. So that has, for me, it has personally helped me as a mentee, and now as a mentor, it's my chance to sort of give back to that program. And what we track out of that is also how many women are able to get promoted as a result of this mentorship. So it's been very satisfying to see that.
That is incredible. I mean, the chat is going crazy. They're so excited and so amazed by all the resources internally that are provided to employees. You all are definitely a company that is taking care of employees proactively and by action. And I think that is amazing. So like we said earlier, we're going to go ahead and open up the floor to questions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section. We have one here from Cynthia. Adobe's opportunities to work and learn sound amazing. Are they only for candidates located in the US? I haven't found anything similar here in Germany.
Adobe has office locations all around the globe. So we do have openings. Now, I know that maybe our offices located in Germany might not be as large as, some that are here within the US, but we do keep our opportunities updated, of course, directly on our website. So continue to take a look out, continue to follow it. You also have the opportunity, if you created a profile, to be able to set up alerts. That way you get reminded when some of those opportunities do open up future state.
I love that. I hope that answered your question, Cynthia. We have another question here from Virginia. Hey, folks. Love all that I'm hearing about investment building leaders, regardless of leveling. I'm pivoting into QA in the product management space. And how does the org empower ownership within each role? I'm curious if this is product, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll start, and I'm not sure, Virginia, if this is where you're going, but I think this is, as we think about product management, and especially as it relates to design, the lines between the roles are becoming fuzzier and fuzzier, particularly with design and product. And so what we think about product management is a captain of equals, right? where the role of this captain is to bring everybody along to achieve a product goal. How do we empower ownership? One is ownership is both a mindset and a behavior, right? So in terms of that mindset, like helping everybody understand that we co-own the outcomes, right? And when you co-own the outcomes, we forget, we sort of downplay the outputs, right? Outputs is a way towards the outcomes, but really focusing on outcomes as opposed to outputs becomes important. And in terms of pivoting from QA into product management, if you have a specific question about that, I'm happy to take a stab at it, Virginia.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. We have another question here from Renee. She wants to talk about the application process. So please share any tips or suggestions for when applying to Adobe roles. So that might be more specifically for Morgan and Annie.
I would say, continue going to events, attending events like this, being active in chats, just as you are now. So as you're able to continue going to things like this, building out your network as naturally as you can. Connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with Morgan, everyone you see here, send a little message. And then, I do think one thing is the network is really important. So whether it's us or anyone else that you send a message to, be as direct as you can with what your question is, because I get lots of messages all the time, and the most helpful thing is when it's hi, when a person is can we chat on the phone for 10 minutes and you can give me some feedback on my resume? It's yes, I can do that. I know exactly what you need. I can do that. Let's go. If there's a job that you found and you apply to it, you can reach out to someone at that company. I applied to this job number. Is there any way you can put me in touch to learn more? It's great. And definitely apply. Even if you don't think you might not be the 10 out of 10 candidate for any role, who cares? Throw your hat into the game, apply. We encourage it. The worst thing that could happen is that you get an email that says, sorry, you weren't selected to move forward. But there isn't a cap of how many roles you can apply to, I don't think. So throw your hat in, get your, have someone look over your resume. If you have a portfolio, have someone outside of the field look at it to see if they can understand it. And just be patient and trust the process. If you're here, you're already on the right track, I want to say.
Plus one to that. Anyone else want to follow up with any extra comments?
I just wanted to back up what Annie said. We get so many applicants that for you to reach out to find a recruiter, or it could be even someone on the team that you want to join, but find someone that would have some sort of connection to the job. And just like Annie said, mention the job number and that you're interested, and that will get you so much further ahead of the game. It is unfortunate how many people can get lost when it's just, hundreds of people applying and only so much time to fill the role. So I back up what Annie said, and I also back up to not get discouraged, even if you go through the whole interview process and don't make it. Please interview again. I can't tell you how many times I have seen people continue to interview, and it's just kind of you have to wait for the right opportunity at the right time, and it will come. So don't feel like it's a one and done thing. Oh, I interviewed at Adobe, I didn't get it, I guess Adobe's not for me. Just I would say persistence is a really big thing. And you'll learn. Every time you interview, you will learn so much that you can put in your pocket and work on and come back and just be that much stronger in your next interview.
Yeah, we love to see it. And I think those are really great points. Just take an extra initiative to find some folks. LinkedIn is powerful, y'all. It's a powerful tool. So, you have these wonderful ladies here on stage, but also to Morgan's point, find someone on those specific teams. Lateral networking is great, y'all, and it goes a very, very long way. Absolutely. Renee had a follow-up question in regards to portfolios. So what are some things, maybe 3 specific things that you all look for in a portfolio?
I love this question. I am going to go first, and I'll be real quick. I love an about me section. There are some portfolios I noticed that don't have the about me, and it makes me really sad because I really do want to get to know you, and I want to hear about like your path to design. This field is ever evolving, and like Rachana, she came from industrial engineering. Rachana's about me section would be really enlightening to read in a portfolio, for example. And there are so many people like her where it helps Morgan and I tell your story using your words on your portfolio. So if you please have an about me section, and there's a lot of other things I love to look for, but I just want to throw that in really quick.
I think that's fantastic. Anyone else want to comment on that? No? All right.
Yeah, I think, Bridget, go on. I'll go after you.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love when people, I know that, in design, they always say process, which is definitely true. I actually like when folks ask the questions, like when they kind of like list out all of the questions that they're asking either themselves or the design or the person who they're designing for, and they kind of show the inquisitiveness and the curiosity that they're bringing to the work. I personally really enjoy that.
Yeah. Bridget, my answer is going to be very similar to yours, which is I think of it as hypotheses, right? What are your hypotheses of the problems that you're trying to solve and the solutions that you might have in mind, and what drove those hypotheses? So I think seeing those couple of things in examples and the case studies is quite enlightening, and it helps the hiring manager understand how you think about a problem.
That is fantastic. Renee, I hope that answered your question.
I can add a couple more things just from a recruiter's perspective. One thing that Morgan and I look for our hiring managers is, these are like multi-discipline teams. So when you come in as a designer, you'll be working with a software engineer, you'll be working with a product designer or product manager, all sorts of people. So in your portfolio, if you have, collaborated with someone outside of your design discipline, put your role for the project and then the other roles of the people that you were involved with, because that's a foundational skill, right, that we look out for, your collaboration. Yeah. And if you're just I see a lot of questions here, like, what if you haven't had an internship, or, you're trying to pivot into design, you want to get that start, but it requires a portfolio, but you haven't really done work. Like, what do you do? I love this question, and you're not alone, and it's possible to get in here. I've seen all sorts of creative ways to craft a portfolio without any real lived paid work experience where you're shipping products. There was someone I remember who was learning all about UX and design, online, going to events like this, and then, writing up on medium.com their learnings and takeaways and putting those in their portfolio, just like little side projects. If you do a boot camp like Morgan did, you can add those to your portfolio. There was someone who redesigned their favorite food truck's menu because they didn't find it was accessible to read it. So, totally unpaid, but all things that you can get creative with your portfolio, especially when you're first starting out. We notice that. We appreciate that.
I really love that point about just kind of taking initiative and kind of solving or designing things that you may have pain points with naturally. Everyone has some kind of pain point, whether that is within accessibility, whether that it's in like the smoothness of the design, or maybe if you are in that space where you're utilizing a favorite app or even a game app, and you're like, man, I wish this like, this little tab was on the right instead of the left. I think it's important for you to express that and show that those are ways that you're thinking. Like design thinking is so important. So I know specifically in terms of resources, I just want to plug this real quick. Designcode.io is so amazing. It's something that I've personally been using at work as a software engineer by day, but allows us to kind of merge the two worlds within design and coding for sure, specifically React, Swift UI, things like that. But if you just solely want to learn a little bit more about wireframing and prototyping, feel free to check that out for sure. We have a last question. I know we are just at time. And this is, I think, a really interesting one. Do customized cover letters make you more of a competitive or interesting candidate?
It is my job to go through resumes, portfolios, and LinkedIn profiles all the time. I would say that, it's nice, but I don't think that it would. I would think that experience, or like what Annie mentioned, taking an initiative to take on like a project on your own, that would make you stand out more than just the cover letter alone. Of course, that's a nice touch, but I wouldn't say that that would supersede like an interesting project that you took the initiative on.
+1 on that, +1 on that. So again, everyone, thank you so very much for joining us for Conversations in Color with the amazing Adobe Design. Again, we have the amazing Rajana, who is the VP of Experience Design. We have the amazing Amanda, who is the Manager of Global Diversity Talent Acquisition at Adobe. The amazing Bridget, who is the Design Manager of the Growth Team within Creative Cloud. Morgan Vosh, who is also a Talent Scout. Annie as well, who is the Talent Partner. And we are looking forward to having you all continue on the journey with Adobe. We went ahead and put in the chat how you all can go ahead and apply. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up to the stage real quick. I'm trying to find the comment, y'all. Team, if you guys can just drop that in the comments. I believe it's the bit.ly link. It takes you directly there to their website. They have some amazing roles open as well. Oh, we have some awesome comments. Thank you all for your time. Thank you guys so very much as well. We do want to make sure that we just give them their thanks. This has been an incredible conversation and so enlightening. And to that theme of education, I learned so much today. So I hope you all did too. Again, here is the link for you guys to go ahead and apply at bit.ly/MMC-adobe.design. It takes you directly to their website and all of the amazing roles that they have open. Feel free to drop your resume and apply. And again, we all are wishing you a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you, Chanel. This was amazing.
Thank you all so much for being up.
Thank you. What an amazing community here.
We're so grateful to have you all.
So impressed with this, Chanel. You're amazing.
Oh, I'm so grateful. We have to help the community. So again, everyone, we wish you all a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye. Can't wait to see your